Hello YouTube, Proxy here, and in today's video we're going to talk about Kritika Online's Endgame. Yes, in my last video I hadn't quite reached it, but since then I have gotten level 65 and begun the endgame content of Kritika. Now at its heart, Kritika is a dungeon crawler, and a lot of the endgame content, surprisingly enough, is dungeon crawling over and over to get drops and loot. There are two endgame areas in which you will be spending most of your time, Xanadu and Starhenge, and most of that time is spent in Starhenge. Most of the endgame activities currently in game are daily dungeon runs and farming, daily quests, daily dungeons, daily arena and arena rankings, PvP fun stuff, leveling alts, improving and upgrading gear, and farming cosmetics and costumes. Just as a note, this is the current endgame content for the open beta. There will be more future content coming along soon, and I'll most likely talk about the future content in another video. But for now we'll stick to talking about the current endgame in the open beta. Let's first talk about dungeon farming. In Kritika, a lot of your initial endgame content will revolve around farming the dungeons for better gear, souls, and crafting materials such as keystones. This will be your go-to source for getting better weapons, armor, and materials to craft better weapons and armor and accessories. Now, as soon as you hit Xanadu, you should have been saving up all of your challenger scrolls, and you want to use these scrolls in a scroll group, doing skyship runs. You will be doing these skyship runs not only because you'll be getting red boss souls and challenger scrolls, but when you use the scrolls or challenger letters, you will be encountering 3-star invaders. And these 3-star invaders will be yielding some nice loot. Killing these invaders will provide you with 2 revival stones, 2 Kegafel badges, 10 stability hammers, 1 times XP boost 5%, 1 times 3 potions, 30 appraisal scrolls, 50 gold critium shards, 40 chaos critium shards, and there is a chance to get some rare cosmetic loots. The most important things you will get from this boss are most likely the resurrection stones, the Kegafel badges, and the hammers. The skyship runs itself can also reward you with some legendary gear, although it's extremely low drop rates. The other 4 dungeons that you will frequent often are in Starhenge. These 4 dungeons are Memory of War, Memory of Annihilation, Belladonna Manor, and Perumagen Pathway. These dungeons no longer drop red boss souls, but violet boss souls, keystone fragments, and level 65 legendary gear. Violet boss souls can be redeemed for some really nice daily items and cosmetics, while the keystone fragments can be used to craft some extremely nice gear. Then we have daily quests. These quests involve going to these 4 dungeons and don't take long to complete at all. They will provide some nice progression wards, and you will want to make sure you do them every day. There is also daily dungeons, which you can do 2 of every day. Depending on the day, there is a different dungeon except on weekends, in which you can choose which daily dungeon you want to do. And on top of all this daily content, we have daily arenas. In the arena, you can earn badges by competing against 9 NPCs and 1 boss NPC in succession. There is also a ranking mode for people who are above 60,000 combat rating currently, which allows you to compete against other players at clearing the areas faster than the others, which in return yield some badass rewards like Yang's lovely black wings here. Now, these badges you earn here are important. They can be slotted and upgraded and will give you some huge stat bonuses for doing so. So you will most likely want to earn these every day, as they impact your combat ability in a pretty huge way. You can upgrade these badges at this NPC, as well as break down unwanted cosmetics for more badges. It's important to note that upgrading these badges won't give you more stats per badge, but allow you to stack up more badges in each slot. Grey badges will stack in 30s, green badges in 60s, etc, etc, which will allow you to gain some serious combat rating, and it's quite important for gearing up. So once you've hit level 65, got some decent gear, and sorted out your badges, you can begin competing in PvP ranking and make a name for yourself. Obtaining higher PvP rankings will also earn you some rewards, depending on what you achieve during your playtime. And if you're not so interested in the PvP rankings, you can just join for some game matches and team modes just for the funsies. And as a side note, the Discord community is still receiving sign-ups for the tournament. I'll put a link below so you can join the Discord and sign up. And Immersive has kindly given them some rewards to distribute in the form of creds for winners of the tournament. And that's very nice of them. And it's great to see them getting involved in community events. And finally, in terms of endgame activities you can perform at level 65 currently, leveling alt is in fact a good one in this game. Once you are level 65, your rest points gain the ability to give you and any of your alts some pretty strong buffs the more RP you burn. This makes leveling alts much easier. And as a bonus to this, there is the devotion system, which will reward all the characters on your account with even more stat increases with every single character that you get to level 65. And if you get 5 characters in total to 65, you will even get increased item drop rates. So Kritika is an exceptionally alt-friendly game, and because the characters have very different playstyles, this adds a lot of fun combat content to the game at the same time. As you can see, I'm leveling my Valkyrie here, and she is doing some insane damage at low levels because of these bonuses. meaning it won't take long to level several alts compared to the time it took to level the initial character to 65. Also to note, at level 65, while you no longer gain XP, you do gain ether from daily quests, which can be used to strengthen your character further, which you can invest in several passive abilities that essentially increase your stats. Now, in terms of Endgame Gear, the current system is getting a complete revamp soon. En masse has taken a lot of feedback recently from the community and will be making a lot of changes to the game to make it suitable for Western audiences. They did release a statement recently along with this diagram, which explains their plans for reorganizing the Endgame Gear. Lower end gear will be what you get from quests or from farming red boss souls, while medium end gear will be gear that is purely crafted, which will be acquired slowly over time, with not much RNG involved. And then there is the higher end gear, which is completely RNG and requires a lot of time, dedication and a chunk of luck to obtain. On top of this, they are allowing free players to sell unwanted gear for creds, which is an effort in order to prevent the game becoming overtly pay to win, allowing the free player ways to buy subscription time as well as other cash shop benefits. Will it work? Well, I'm not sure, but it seems en masse are trying at least to please Kritika's player base and taking feedback from the community in order to improve the game. And they will also be introducing new content and an updated arena system towards the end of the month. And that pretty much sums up the current endgame content, and there will be lots of future content to come. So what's my take on the current endgame content? Well, for a dungeon crawler, it's decent enough. You do dungeons, upgrade gear, do more dungeons, and generally make your character stronger and stronger. It's pretty grindy, but it's an enjoyable kind of grind, but mostly because of how the combat feels. The bosses do have some mechanics and tactics to learn, but nothing too complicated to keep out casual players. And because of the combat of the game is quite fun, leveling alts in Kritika isn't as boring or tedious as some MMOs are. However, I do feel like the current endgame does need some improvements, and it's something that en masse is very aware of currently. At the moment in general, I kind of feel like we are waiting for new shiny content to be added at the end of the month, as there isn't huge amounts to do in the game currently. There is certainly enough here though to keep the casual or average gamer entertained for sure, but for the hardcore gamers, aside from competing in rankings and farming for legendaries, making creds and buying cosmetics, will most likely burn through the content within a few weeks at most. It's a really good thing this game has a lot of pre-made content from KR version to port over, as it should give a steady enough stream of content to keep most players happy for quite some time. Well, if you like the sound of the current endgame content, the oodles of fan service, and enjoy the arcadey brawler combat goodness, download the game now guys and try it out. You can sign up via the link provided below. Just as a reminder guys, I'm hosting my giveaway event. It will be ending soon and I will announce 25 winners of the exclusive red costumes in my next video. For your chance to earn one, sign up for the game, download it and join me in game for some PvP, PvE or whatever you want really. Well, that pretty much sums up the current endgame content for Kritika Online. The endgame should be expanded at a steady rate using material and content from the Korean version. I hope you guys found the information contained within this video useful, and if you did, don't forget to like, subscribe and leave a comment below. And as always guys, thank you for watching.